Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today. My name is Dan Chappie. I also have Tom Johansson with us as well. We're both presenting from Document Logistics, and we're located in Austin, Texas. An overview for the webinar, we're going to give a quick presentation on how digital tools help with public information requests, and I might refer to these as PIRs. If you have any questions, feel free to use the question section in the panel for the GoToWebinar panel, and then we'll address those at the end, all of which should take roughly 10 to 15 minutes. So starting off, a quick background on what led us to sharing this information. We work with all types of clients from education to state and local government, including county officials. The one common denominator between all of them is the struggle managing public information requests, otherwise known as, like I said, PIRs. And as we learn more about their struggles, there always seems to be a unique horror story with each agency that they seem to share with us, which I wanted to quickly share some of those highlights. The first one being we met with an officer that had a request for all of the books in their office, which is still ongoing, I believe. The second one being a request for every body cam video within the last year. And my personal favorite, Parks and Wildlife Agency, that got a request for every complaint that involved a duck. And sometimes I try to envision the people's reactions when they receive those types of requests, and I can certainly imagine that each public information officer has a top list of their own. And whether it be receiving crazy requests like those, or maybe receiving an overwhelming amount of requests in and of itself, the challenges to respond, keep organized, and meet regulations have always been certainly complex. We're going to dive into some ways that digital tools can help solve some of these challenges. So regulations differ by state. For example, here in Texas, the Texas Public Information Act allows 10 days for a response to public records requests. And the New York Freedom of Information Law allows 5 days for a similar request. And some states define exemptions on what they consider, quote unquote, confidential information. I'm sure you're all aware of the regulations that you need to abide by. So with that said, let's take a look at how digital tools can help streamline the process of responding. Storing all PIRs in one place ensures that you have information governance, which helps with organization. Typically, most agencies have a group of people that help manage their information. And imagine if everyone stored their documents in a separate place that are most convenient to them. This might include email or a personal folder on their desktop or maybe a shared drive. When storing all your information in one central repository, it allows you to have what we refer to as a single source of the truth. Finding information quicker, now that everything is stored in one place, it makes it easier and quicker to find it. So no more having to guess where something is, and this helps speed up the process of finding information. And then from there, you can streamline your processes. Also, all information, when it's in one place, can be properly secured, where you can set security protocols such as permissions, maybe redactions, and then encryption can be applied to your sensitive information. This help ensures that you're protected from sharing any information that isn't supposed to be shared. Next, most agencies already have a predefined email address that are specifically created for PIRs. Most digital tools can automatically scan that email inbox and bring in the email and or the attached documents into its digital repository. And this also helps ensure that all requests are archived in one location. From there, it's important to automatically date and timestamp when the request was received. Notifications can make sure that you meet deadlines for responses. The third way digital tools provide automation is by setting up rules based on your state's regulations. For instance, if you need to respond within 10 days, a dashboard can track how many days you have left on a certain request. They can also create notifications that alert you of deadlines, all of which make technology more than just an archive. Diving into redactions, you can redact information by keyword or phrase. Each state has its own regulations on what is allowed to be shared and what isn't. If you already have a program in place, make sure that you take advantage of the ability to create redactions as an overlay that doesn't affect the integrity of the original document. Then you should have the ability to assign permissions as to who can see behind the redaction and burn that redaction into the document when it's exported or shared. And lastly, most digital solutions allow for security permissions to be configurable based on your agency's preferences. Depending on your state's regulations, it's always a good idea to have the program automatically allocate permissions to a document based on key information associated to it, such as type or classification. So we talked a lot about different ways to help streamline PIRs. If you have a program in place, we hope this gave you some ideas as to different ways to enhance your current process. If you don't have a program in place currently, we're happy to talk to you more about our solution. So I'm going to introduce Tom Johansson to see if there are any questions, and then we'll open it up and provide some answers to those questions. Tom, do we have any questions out there?
Thank you, Dan. Yes, there are a couple of questions, and thank you for those. If you do have any, type them in the question box. First question says, our agency receives requests both by email and paper. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it's pretty common, I'm assuming, to receive them via email. I'm sure you still get some people that prefer to write letters. So most digital solutions can monitor an inbox, and whenever an email is received, can automatically upload it into its digital repository. So it takes away the manual steps of doing that every single time. And then from a paper standpoint, they should have the ability to scan directly into the program as well. And so we do have a program that does both of those.
And then the next question says, you mentioned a request involving a duck. Is there a search option to look for keywords?
Yes. So depending on the solution, typically they can OCR, which is optical character recognition type text, so that you can search by keyword or phrase and then locate whatever information you need to quicker than sifting through a couple different documents.
And then the next question is, you mentioned that you could redact documents. We need to automatically redact based on words and phrases. Can you touch on that?
Yes. So depending on the program, that same optical character recognition, you can search by keyword or phrase and assign redactions based on that. So that is technology available in some solutions to automatically redact them based on whatever keywords or phrases that you specify by.
I think we're at the end of our questions. I don't see any more in the panel. We encourage you to contact us if you do have additional questions. Today's session is intended to be high level and informational. Obviously, we would love to continue the discussion with you if you have additional questions, and we will be sending you the recording link for today's session.
Outstanding. Thank you, Tom, and thank you everyone for your time today. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.